What's up, everyone? I'm the nostalgic book potato. Today, I'm bedridden. I threw out my back a couple days ago, which is annoying. You know what else is annoying? I've been working on a video that I was planning on posting 2 weeks ago, and I'm still not finished. Yeah, that's annoying. So, I've had to pivot for the last couple weeks, and since I'm still not done, I gotta pivot again. So today I'm sipping a little haterade and talking about popular books that I personally think are overrated. Now, I'm not saying these books are bad, they're all fine. It's just, they're internet darlings. Some people hold these up as god tier books, but I think they're just eh. I feel like people might come at me for these, especially the first one, but you wouldn't come at me while I'm crippled, would you? Come on, that's just mean. So, this is going to be a hot take, but the first book that I personally think is the most overrated is The Hunger Games. I know everyone on booktube is losing their minds over the new prequel book that just came out, but I don't care. I didn't like the original books. I'm not a fan of the movies either. Didn't care about the Ballad of Songbirds or whatever that came out a couple years ago. I just have no emotional connection with this series. I don't get why people are going bananas for this. It's a fine story, but it just didn't do anything for me, so I don't have any inclination to pick up Sunrise on the Reaping. Sorry. I don't care enough about Haymitch or this world. I think at this point, I don't need to give you a synopsis of the Hunger Games, right? But in case you didn't know, it's a dystopian world broken up into districts which provide for the wealthy and powerful in the capital. And each district has to send two kids to a death trial against each of the other districts to entertain the capital and to punish the districts for rebelling a long time ago. Well, I'm going to be the rebel here and say The Hunger Games is super overrated. Next is another beloved book that everyone raves about, but I thought it was just meh. I didn't get the hype. It's Six of Crows. I do agree that it's better than the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I don't get why people love it. I definitely don't get why everyone loves Kaz so much. I think the best part of Six of Crows is Nina and Matthias's story. Maybe just because I love the enemies to lovers dynamic so much. And I think I really love witch versus witch hunter stories. Because as you know, I love Serpent and Dove. I don't know how many more times I'll gush over Serpent and Dove on here, but here we go again. Honestly, I think the show was better than any of the books. This is part of the Grishaverse, where certain people have different magical powers, and there's some political maneuvering, some heisting, some angsting, but all of that still wasn't enough to really grip me the way it seems to grip everyone else. Next up is a book I wanted to like so much more than I did. The Night Circus. People love it for the vibes and imagery, and I agree that those are great. But it just wasn't a satisfying enough story. Personally, the best parts were the chapters in second person, where it's like, you're entering the circus and you see this magical thing. It feels really immersive. If the whole book was like that, I think it would have been stellar. I can understand that some parts of the story couldn't have been told in second person, but in that case, I feel like it would have been cool if Bailey's chapters were the second person POV. And it's like, we're Bailey going into the circus and meeting some mysterious girl, and this is a big spoiler, becoming the owner of the circus. I know the romance between the two magicians is kind of a subplot, but I wanted more of it. I could feel the yearning and the tension, but there wasn't enough interaction between the two of them. It was just, oh, here, I did this cool magical thing for you. I know, it impressed me. It inspired me to do this cool magical thing for you. And that's it. Then they get tired of doing cool magical stuff. And that's it. It's been a few years since reading these books, but I think that's all that happens. The setup for this book is so cool. A magical, mysterious circus randomly appears, and two magicians have to battle it out to see who's the better magician. And the two of them end up falling in love. But then it just kind of falls flat. People say this is similar in vibes to Caraval, but is better. And I think the prose is a little bit better, but I thought Caraval was more interesting. I am interested in reading another book by the author, The Starless Sea. The premise for this one sounds so good. A guy is reading a book and then sees his own life story in it, and somehow gets sucked into the book. I've heard mixed reviews about it, and I usually end up liking books that have mixed reviews, so hopefully that one will be a hit for me. The next book is another one that just didn't hit the mark for me. I can understand why it might hit for some people, but it just didn't quite do it for me. The Midnight Library. This one, depending on your mental state, may or may not be triggering. But essentially, the main character is unhappy with her life, and she decides she wants to end it. And while she's losing consciousness, she enters this library full of books, and when she opens a book, it sucks her into a different multiverse version of her life. She goes through some versions of her life that are great, and some that are very different than how her current life has turned out. And she has to mull over what she really wants and how she'll feel fulfilled in life. I liked the message, and it was a cute story, but it just felt a little heavy-handed, kind of too preachy, and it just didn't quite feel as life-changing or life-affirming as I think it's supposed to be. If you want a life-affirming multiverse story, watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's literally worth every bit of hype and then some. The first half, you will not understand anything at all, but when you get it and it hits, oh man, it hits you in the gut and punches out your soul. So those are some popular books that I think are overrated and not quite worth the hype. If I just dumped on your favorite book, sorry, but let me know what books you think are overrated and what books you think deserve more hype. Okay, bye!